Hello everyone, this is Rita Holmes, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. I am coming to you to bring you a video on a fun fold card that I found while I was cruising Pinterest. It was actually on a close to my heart demonstrator's website. Well, it wasn't on her website, it was just a picture. And, you know, there was no directions, anything, so I thought, well, I'll figure this out and I'll do it myself. So that's what I did. And but anyway, before I get started on my cards and show you them, I just wanted to tell you that I do have my March host code up, which is right here. And if you don't have a demonstrator and you do decide you want to order from Stampin' Up, I'd love for you to order from me. And my website is right here, ritaholmes.stampinup.net, which is also in the title of this video. I do have a Facebook group, Stamp Crazy VIP, that I do live videos every Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock. And I also do a PDF that I put in my files every week so that you can pull those off. You can copy and print those and have those to put in your files if you need to. But anyway, this week's technique is everything I've used, all my instructions, and then pictures of how the card works. So that is in my PDF, and I am going to take real quick and plug my phone in before I forget, because I don't want my battery to go dead. That'd be not good in the middle of a video. So anyway, I do have that. So now I'm going to show you my card. Oh, I also want to mention that our last chance list are out, our retiring list from Stampin' Up that you can order from. They have a lot of stuff discounted. I know on this, under my umbrella, that is a stamp set that's discontinued, and it has the umbrella punch, which has the umbrella, has another little closed umbrella, and the umbrella handle right here. And they've got that marked down to $7.20 from the $18 that it used to be. So just wanted to let you know that. Now let me show you how the cards work. I will be doing the turtle card tonight. So when you open this card, you have your little turtle net inside, and I put a little saying, just sigh, on the front. And when you open it up, it's hope you're back on your feet soon. So it's a get well card, or whatever, you know, somebody needs lifted up and that. But that is the card. I also did it with the round dies, and I fussy cutted this happy out of the stamp set, Pretty Perennials. And then we have our saying on the inside of here. So that is that card. Here is my umbrella card. So you open it up, which I only have 2 layers here, where I have 3 layers on all these other cards. But 2 layers was all I could use on this one. And there's my saying. Now if you'll notice, I have shading on the inside, and then this is white left on the stitching. I'm going to show you how to do that as well on my card today. So that's kind of like a little technique that we're going to do. So I'm going to lay these aside, and I'm going to show you how to do this card. It's not that it's a hard card, it's just that it takes, you know, there's a lot of little things to it. I'm going to be using this Back on Your Feet stamp set. I'll be using the turtle, the sigh, and hope you're back on your feet soon. I'm also have used, as far as dies, I used the stitched framelits, and I used the third one out, and it's still left in my paper, and I'll show you why in a minute onto my cardstock. This is being discontinued. You can only get that till the end of April, along with the layering squares, which I used this large one here and this large one here to cut out my other 2 squares. And that is being discontinued, along with the ovals will be too in the same set. They only kept the circles. So anyway, if you like these dies and don't have them, this one's a great set. I love this. I hate they're getting rid of it. I use it all the time. But anyway, they are getting rid of these. So if you don't have dies like this and you want them, now would be a good time to get them before they are gone. Okay, now we are ready to start our card. And what I did is I took a regular card, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, and I took a piece of 5 1/4 by 4-inch DSP, and I used the Playing with Patterns paper, which is also going to be gone. And it's this paper right here that's got all kinds of little designs. And I'll be truthful, I really hadn't used it until I started making a few of these cards. And so I tried to use some of it up. But that's 5 1/4 by 4. And then I took my largest die, the one that I cut this Flirty Flamingo square out with, is also what I used here because I wanted to make sure that it would fit in my opening and closing my card. As you can see how that fits in there. Okay, so you want to, after you put your DSP on, you want to cut out that square. And I made sure when I put my glue on here that I went like this and glued up and down so it would glue all of my sides really good. Okay, so that's how we did that. I'm going to set it to the side for a minute because I'm going to show you the little technique we did. I'm going to get my scrap piece of paper out that I used earlier. And I'm going to be using my blending brush along with Coastal Cabana ink today. So what you're going to do is you're just going to ink this up really well, kind of tap it off, and then leaving your die on your, where I've die cut this piece of basic white cardstock, leave it on there, and then you're just going to go around your edges. And if you need to ink up again, go ahead, but start off of your die, your paper, so you don't leave a big blob there. I've been known to do that. I get all excited about doing it, I guess. And that's all we have to do with that. Now I'll show you when I take that off what it looks like. I'm going to clean my brush out just a little bit. It doesn't have a lot left in it. Let's move my piece of scrap. And then we're just going to take this out of the die. Can you see the white edge around there? You get a perfect white edge. So you can use any die to do this if you're wanting to do shading and stuff like that. It works out really, really well. Just adds a little bit of a different dimension to your card itself. Let me put my die up. I have a thing about losing dies, so we want to put that up. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp my turtle with my Memento Black because I'm going to be using Stampin' Blends. So I'm just going to ink that up. Make sure I got it inked really well. Bring this in and lay my turtle down. Let that ink absorb into the paper a little bit. And there's my turtle. Isn't he cute? But while I have that out, I forgot, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move him over, and I'm going to put the word sigh right down here at the bottom, like I had on my sample. There we go. And then we will put our inside saying on in just a few minutes when we get to that part. Okay? So we've got that done. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my Stampin' Blends in, and I'm going to color him really quick. And if you notice his body, I didn't know if I wanted it gray or green, and I'm going to show you how I got that kind of green look, but it's a grayish green. So we are going to use our light and dark gray granite, our light and dark mint macaron, our light and dark flirty flamingo, and our Stampin' Right marker Coastal Cabana. So I'm going to take my Coastal Cabana first, and I'm going to just color in between these little squares of his turtle shell. Because I really don't have to do any blending with that, because these are really hard to blend with. So I just want to make sure that I get all of that colored in. And then I'm going to color around his top of his shell with this. So, do you guys like to color? I love to color. Okay, I've got that all colored, I think. If I missed a spot, I can always come back. That's the good thing. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my light Flirty Flamingo and I'm going to color in these little squares. And I'm hoping I'm in camera. I keep forgetting to look and see. Move all this stuff out of my way. I think when I stamp I have to have everything around me. It's crazy. It's like it's my security blanket or something. Okay, while I'm doing that, I'm going to go ahead and color his little, I call them toenails, I don't know what it is. I don't know the proper word for a turtle, but I know what it is. For me, it's just little toenails. I'm also, what I did forget with my Coastal Cabana is the inside of his two little paws right here, or feet, whatever they are. Okay, now I'm going to take my dark color and I'm just going to put a little bit of shading in here. I don't have to do much to it. I'm just going where these darker lines are. So I'm kind of shading that in. I want to make it look like it's darker. I hear my husband upstairs. He doesn't know I'm videoing, so you might hear him yell down here at me for some reason. It's okay. I'm just going to blend all that back in with my darker right there. Now what I did for the turtle shell is I took my light gray granite and I colored him gray. Did everything but his eyeball, okay? So while he's sitting there for a minute, I see that I forgot to do my little marks right here. These are, I did those in Flirty Flamingo. So let's color those in. Now what I did is I took my light mint macaron and I kind of just went around these shaded areas and added some green. I didn't like color him all green. I just wanted to give him some shading of green. Because, you know, turtle shell, a turtle is an odd color, so I just colored him a little bit odd. Then I'm going to bring in my darker, and I'm just going to hit these areas a little bit. Not much. I don't want to do it heavy-handed or anything. There we go. And that's our turtle colored. So now we are ready to start putting this together. We're going to make what I call a swing arm. And that is a piece of cardstock cut 1.5 by 3 inches, scored at a 1/2 inch right here. And we're going to take our bone folder or my pot scraper and we're going to burnish that really well so that that is like that. Then this is 1 1/4 by 2, and I'm going to glue that down. So we're going to glue that down, and I didn't cut it as long as this piece of paper because it's really not going to show. So what I'm going to do is just lay this in here and leave an edge. I got glue sticking out right here. Let me wipe that with my finger. And of course rub it on my pants. What else would I do with them? Let me bring my glue eraser in, and I'm just going to get that glue off of there. It really wouldn't matter because it's going to be covered up anyway. So what we're going to do with this is I've cut a 5 1/4 by 4 inch piece of basic white cardstock that actually will go into the inside. And this is going to go, actually, part of it's going to go underneath of that, like so. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it like where I would be, basically in the ballpark of where I will be gluing it down. I'm going to bring this in, and I'm just going to make sure that I've got this kind of in the center from here to here, so that when I put my stuff on it, it'll have equals amount of room. That looks good to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick this up. If you want to know why I got black ink all over me, I was cleaning my other black ink pad a while ago, the lid of it, and I got ink all over me, and it won't come off because it's Memento. And I'm going to put just a little bit of glue here to hold this down. Okay. And I still don't want that to be held down on my paper yet, so that little bit of glue that's on there, I'm going to go ahead and get it off. Kind of messy with my glue tonight because it's a new bottle and it really wants to come out fast. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is we are going to bring this over here, and I'm going to stamp my saying underneath of here real quick. So let me get that saying out and get the ink pad back out. Ink this up. And then I'm going to open that, and I'm just going to put my saying in there. Oops, well, that's not the saying I was going to use, but I'll use this one. It's hope things get better soon. That'll work. That's okay. So I've got my saying in there, so I know that that'll be covered up when I do my card. Now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to leave this shut for a minute. We're going to use these little magnets. Now I got these off of Amazon. They are really tiny. There's a bunch of them. You get 100 of them in a pack. And this is, let me get one apart. They are like strong magnets. They are this size. They're real thin. And he just popped back in the thing and held on to his friends over here. So anyway, that's how thin they are. So I'm going to lay that right there, because what I'm going to do is I really want to see about, I want it in under here, but I'm going to place it on the back. So I kind of hold my fingers there, get them in the same place, and I know that that's where I'm going to want to put, should have got this ready. That's where I want to put a glue dot. It's right on there. So let me get a glue dot. And I'm going to place it like right there. And then what I want to do is I want to pick this magnet up, and that's not metal. I thought it would be. My other little pick tool is metal, and it sticks to it all the time. So I'm just going to glue that magnet right there. So let me check that, and yes, it's in under this. It's about right here, which is good. Just so it's in there. That's all I want. All I want. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this into my card. And I kind of make sure that I get it glued down in the center because of that magnet being in there. And we're going to glue this right here. It's hard to see white on white when you got old eyes. There we go. That looks good. Okay. So that's going to be like that. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to burnish this again so it'll lay a little flatter for me. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take where my magnet is. When I pull this little magnet off here, and I drop it over here, it's going to cling to that magnet. That's how strong they are, because I just let it go. And it's right there on top of the magnet. So that's how I know that's where it needs to go. And if I move him, see, he'll flip right back to that. So they're pretty strong, and that way you don't get your magnet off centered from that one. You're going to take a glue dot, and you're going to put that glue dot on top of that magnet that you just put there where your saying is, and you're just going to bring this over and press that down, and then you can open your card. Okay, so that's what you do there. Now we're going to assemble the rest of it. Okay, we're just going to leave that closed a minute. We're going to bring in our mats that we're going to build our front with. I'm going to take on the back of my Coastal Cabana, I'm just going to glue that down to the Flirty Flamingo. And these are the squares cut from the square dies. They're the two largest dies in the layering squares. So I'm just going to glue those down. Then I'm going to take dimensionals and I'm going to put that on the back of my turtle. And I'm going to use 5 of them. I'm going to put 4, 1 in each corner. And after I get that done, then I'm going to put 1 in the middle because I want to make sure it really stands up. You know, sometimes I use a lot of dimensionals and sometimes I don't. Then I'm just going to peel these off. Well, that one doesn't want to come off. There we go, we got him. So we got that all together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in the center of the Coastal Cabana. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, because I'm going to glue that to the inside of here, and it's going to go on your swing arm. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put glue on this swing arm. Couldn't get that out. But I'm not going to go all the way over to here because I don't want glue to get over on that. So I'm just doing it right through there, making sure I got glue. Said my glue didn't want to come out, or was coming out too fast and it didn't want to come out. Okay, so I've got my glue there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to turn it this way because I can see better. I'm going to place this in my square right there. Okay, so now let me open it. I'm going to open. I just pulled it off. That was good. Now let's get it back up here. Didn't mean to do that. Kind of hold it till I can get it opened here. Yeah, there we go. Because what I want to do is I just want to kind of press on that. And what I do with my other white, I lost my other white square. Let me get a white square real quick because I'm going to need it really bad. Really, really bad. And get a square cut out for you. Just 1 second. Click, click, click. Okay, I'm cutting it out now. Sorry about that. I usually try not to do something like that, but you just never know. You know, I think my basement is really small until I have to go running around in it really quickly. Okay. Well, I used the wrong die. And I could use that one, but yeah, I'm just going to use that one. Because what I did with the other cards was my white piece was the same size as my Coastal Cabana. This one I cut a little short, so that's alright. It'll just leave a border around there. And rather than me cut another one, we're just going to do this way. Because you know what? Nobody will ever know but us. So I'm just going to center that along there. And it will hide that magnet. So the magnets won't be seen because they're hidden. So let's get that glued on there. And you can hear that close. And that doesn't look bad. It just looks like a... You could actually stamp something over here on this before you put it down too if you wanted to. So that's our finished card, and that's all there is to it. Except for, we're going to put some little metallic pearls on there. So let's do that real quick. And there we go. So that's our little turtle card. Isn't he cute? I like him really well. So there's our turtle card. There's the one with Under My Umbrella, which is on the retired list. The stamp set Under My Umbrella is, and then the punch is being discontinued, and it's on sale, marked down to $7.20. And then this is Pretty Perennials, which is in the mini catalog, which is good to the end of June. So that is our 3 cards done as a fun fold interactive card is what I called it, because I didn't know what else to call it. And those are my cards. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked my video and that, please share it so other stampers can get to see it, and maybe they'll like it too. And remember that the PDF, if you like that, is just going over to Facebook and joining my Stamp Crazy VIP group so you can get under the file section. I have PDFs for every video that I've done, every how-to video that I've done since last April, which has been right at a year ago. Well, I think I started at the very end of March is when I started making videos last year. So I have probably around 50 of these files in my file section over at Stamp Crazy VIP. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. You have a nice day or evening or whatever at the time you're watching that. Be blessed and be safe, and we will see you next time. Thank you. Bye.